Always grateful to have Texas Senator John Cornyn join me. Senator Cornyn, good to see you again. Shutdown is in day 8. Any sign of it ending? And if not, will you continue to vote every day in order to put the onus on the Democrats?
Well, we've voted 6 times now, including a Democratic alternative, which certainly doesn't have the votes because it tries to extort about $1 million, or I should say $1 trillion in enhanced subsidies for Obamacare, plus renege on a $50 billion rural hospital stabilization fund, and then restore free health care for illegal aliens. So we're not going to go there, obviously, but Democrats are persisting in the shutdown, but I think they're fighting a losing battle.
Now, Senator Cornyn, last week, and I assume continuing this week, 3 Democrats defected: Senator Cortez Masto, Senator Fetterman, and Angus King, who caucuses with the Democrat senator from Maine. He needs 5 more to defect in order to open the government. They're getting slaughtered on this. Do you have any idea who those 5 might be? Like Jeanne Shaheen, she's not running again.
Well, I think, Gary Peters is also not running again from Michigan. I think once the dam breaks, then we'll be good to go. I think it's going to happen. The question is when, and I can't predict that. Although I will tell you that our military begin to miss their first paycheck next Wednesday, the 15th, I believe that is. And so we're going to keep voting and giving the Democrats an opportunity to vote to support our military. But so far, they've been undeterred.
Senator, for a column for Fox News tomorrow, I went and looked up the pay scale for E1s and E2s. Those are the youngest members of the military, the privates who have just joined, typically 18, 19, or 20. An E1, when they first join, gets $2,319 a month. They really cannot afford to miss half that, and they'll miss half of that. I mean, they're living paycheck to paycheck because they're kids, and some of them are married, some of them have kids, some of them have apartments and cars. Do the Democrats not care about those young soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marine, and Coast Guardmen?
I think the short answer is no, they don't care. And according to one report I read, about 6 out of 10 Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And so it is, of course, these young service members who obviously we should be supporting and have some empathy for, who are going to be hurt. But there's a whole lot of other Americans who are going to be out of a paycheck. We have about 130,000 federal government employees in Texas who are not getting paid under the current regime. But as I said, many of this next pay period for the military starts the Wednesday, the 15th, I believe that is. And then there are other deadlines, the 20th, for example, when congressional staff no longer get paid. So I think we'll see some erosion in the monolithic position of the Democrats, because I don't think this is sustainable.
Boy, if they make the kids in the military skip a paycheck and then they open the government up before their staffers get clipped, that's going to look really bad. So maybe the 14th is the day they retreat. When is there a big Democratic demonstration that they've got to be careful not to upset people over?
Well, I understand there is a big demonstration called the No Kings Rally. I think that's what it's called.
Not another one.
I won't be attending, but it's on the 18th of October. So there's some theory that the Democrats won't cave until that time because they want to show solidarity with the most radical element of their progressive base and not be the object of their ire on October the 18th.
Yes, Senator, what's so ironic about that? No kings. The Democratic President, Joe Biden, had a Department of Justice that surveilled 8 senators, at least 8 senators, and 2 attorneys generals who then went on to become senators. As a former Supreme Court justice in Texas and now as a senator on the Judiciary Committee, what do you make of Operation Arctic Frost?
Well, what I make of it is that the Biden administration's Justice Department was essentially lawless, and they were willing to bend, if not break the rules, in order to get at President Trump and his allies in the Congress. But you know what strikes me, Hugh, is that if they're willing to do this to United States senators and take that kind of risk, just think of what they're willing to do or would have been willing to do to the average American citizen in the country. What rules they would be willing to break to get to them and surveil them illegally. So this is outrageous. We're going to get to the bottom of it, but it's really a sad day for the rule of law and for the deep.
I mean, no disrespect to Senator Grassley, who's a great American and chairman of Judiciary, but I would like to see a select committee, and you being a former Supreme Court justice would be a great chair for that. But you got a lot of great lawyers, including your colleague from Texas, Senator Cruz, and you've got Tom Cotton and Mike Lee and 2 attorney generals from Missouri. I'd like to see a select committee on this because I have no idea who in the world approved this and why Christopher Wray didn't say not on my watch and why Merrick Garland didn't fire Jack Smith. Surveilling United States senators, that's crazy.
It is. It is. It's almost as crazy as indicting a presidential opponent or mishandling classified information. I mean, these folks are just totally tone deaf, and we're committed to getting President Trump and his allies and breaking or bending whatever rules they needed to in order to accomplish their goal. It's just a miracle that President Trump is so resilient after all these years of relentless attacks against him and his allies that he's willing to stand up to them, and he's prevailed. So, but this is a scandal that I agree with you. We have to get to the bottom of and expose.
Well, if we go to the select committee route, I hope you're on that. I don't think we have any other former justices of a state Supreme Court in the Senate. Am I wrong about that? Are you the only one?
I think you're right. We do have Ashley Moody, our newest member of the Senate from Florida, who was a judge in Florida. But I confess I was on the Texas Supreme Court and a trial judge. I believe she was a trial judge.
Yeah, I think you'd make a great chairman of a select committee on Arctic frost. And boy, do I think we need one. Senator John Cornyn, always good to see you, Senator. Keep coming back. I appreciate the time. Don't go anywhere, America. I'll be right back on the Hugh Hewitt